Rewarded. My story is so complicated that it could show up in all the topics on this site, but since all has come to a head with the discovery of my wife's emotional affair that was headed toward a physical affair, I will share the story here. We have been married 18 years. I raised 2 of her kids and we have 2 at home that are ours. 9 years ago, we bought a business and I will admit that it became the top priority in my life. We began to argue a lot and I said many mean things to her that were never meant but were said in anger. But I have always been there for her and supported her in the things she wanted. But I guess I was not there for her emotionally. Too busy with everything else in life and did not feed our relationship or take care of it enough. I knew we were having marital problems but thought these were normal marital issues. The business has been in trouble for 3 years now and I finally have let go of trying to make it work. I was ready to start focusing on us again because I felt I finally could when I found out that she had been in an emotional affair since June. I found all this out last week. This past Monday I found that she was planning on meeting him at a hotel. But whatever, this is the second emotional affair she has had. The first ended some years ago. Now, she has said she has no feelings for me or is not sure if does and that she has feelings for the OP or she thinks she does. She is not sure. I have committed to trying to fix things but she is not sure she can. I really don't know what to do here. Am I just out of luck? Do I wait until she decides whether she wants to be committed to the relationship again? My heart is broken. The one person I always thought would be there through thick and thin has betrayed me. Obviously, there are more details to our life together than I have outlined, and I can explain as this story grows. I really want our marriage to work out, but am I fooling myself here? Yes, she did have a bunch of options and I have said that to her. I told her that the vows included a better and worse part and that I always thought our problems could be worked out. I mean, I have to agree with her that she tried to get my attention, but the weight of the business, especially when things went south, really consumed me. I was just trying to feed my family. The other man is married and her first response was, please don't contact him, I don't want to ruin his family. I told she already had. I have not contacted him yet, but still hold that card. And if I contact anyone it will be his wife. She needs to protect herself as well. As far as what I have done so far, I have tried to be reasonable about this. But remember, I am in emotional shock, so what I think is reasonable may not actually be reasonable. We talk a lot and I believe that we are doing so honestly. She says she does not know if she wants D or R and she is not ready to quit the EA. Which I told her has to happen if we have any chance at all. I told her we need to exchange passwords to email, FB, and phones as a sign of trust. She really got angry at that and said I had no right to her private business. I told her I agree, but that there is a difference between privacy and secrecy. Yes. I have been reading the other threads here. She has said she will go to a counselor, but she failed to call one yesterday because things were just too crazy all day. Yeah, she sits at home and tries to write her book. Last night at a meeting of an association I founded, I announced that I may be moving in December and would need to step down. I think that may have shocked her a bit, even though I told her I was thinking about it. Why December? Because I have many work-related things to finish before I can turn operation of the company over to someone else. If I could do it sooner I would. Today I go out of town for work and will be gone until Monday or Tuesday. I am not going to contact her at all. She can contact me and I will decide to answer or not. And that's the story so far. One thing is, and this is of course her side of the story, so I don't know how true it is. She claims that the other man does not know that she has feelings for him and that he has never expressed feelings for her. So maybe this is a one-way emotional affair. I am not sure. As far as the meeting while I am away, he lives in another state and it would be an 8 or 9 hour drive for him. And she will be watching our 2 kids while I am away. I know about keyloggers, though I have no idea how to install one, but I am not familiar with a VAR. Not sure at this point. I need to know the details of the relationship. I have already caught her in it. She admits it. She says she is not ready to quit and that she will do it on her terms, not mine. As far as privacy in marriage, there needs to be some privacy in a marriage, but that there is a big difference between that, say, keeping a personal journal, and secrecy. Like texting in secret. Of course, these days she texts right in front of me, but still says it's her GF she is talking to. She claims she doesn't know what she wants and that the emotional affair could have been with anyone. Not anything special about this guy. Yet she is falling or has fallen for him. I told her that I feel like she is stringing me along, and she is. And that I am simply her backup plan. She really got angry at that. I am trying to treat this gently because if she gets angry or we fight, then the lines of communication will be severed. I have told her that the affair must end and that she is married to me. I will inform the OMW as soon as possible. As far as how she knows him, they went to high school together many years ago. Just knew each other, no dating. She hooked up with him last June at an HS reunion and they have been texting ever since. Or so I gather from what she tells me. I don't know how to access her phone records as it is a different phone account than mine and in her name. I cannot get to her phone. She guards it like a golden idol. In terms of the VAR, it won't help. She texts 99% of the time and emails as well. She admits that there have been a few calls. Again though, do I really need the details? I know about the emotional affair and I know she is not wanting to give it up. I think this is a discussion for after she quits him. If she is still unwilling to share email passwords, phone passwords, etc., then I should engage in such devices as I can to make sure it is really over. And in the end, what really matters, as far as I can tell, is that the emotional affair is only a symptom of bigger problems. The emotional affair must end if we are going to work on the problems, but my eye, I think, is on the ball of helping our relationship, not on the distraction and complication of the emotional affair. Am I totally off the rails here? She has not been with him physically yet. I know that is fact. I caught her just before it became physical though. It may yet become a pia as well as ia unless I can get her to end it. You are of course right. I must simply say this is how it is or adios. And yet I live on the fear that she will say well then bye. And where will that have gotten us? I do not want to lose my wife. There is another issue as well. We still have 2 kids at home. The 15-year-old could deal with the D. I think he could anyway. But our 9-year-old has severe ADHD and needs to have what he perceives as a stable environment. This is the other reason I feel like I need to really work at the marriage, because I really don't think he would deal well with a D. She and I have talked about it. Maybe if we can't have a relationship, just staying together until he is able to deal with things. That idea sucks, but I would be willing to do that for my son. Not sure what she thinks about it now though. At first, she was right with me on the belief that he needs both mom and dad in the same house. Now, I don't think she is paying it much mind at all. I am really at my wit's end here, folks, and I really want to thank you all for taking your time and talking this over with me. I look forward to many more thoughts from you on this. So, how do I get the OMW phone number? I have his name and the city he lives in but do not know her name. The white page listing is in his name only. I guess the thing is I wanted to let her do the right thing and quit the affair at my request. Yes. I know she did the wrong thing by starting it in the first place, but I have figured out several other little lies she has told me about this as well. It was a long drive. I also have her phone records. Turns out they were on file at our business. From June 11th to June 18th alone, there are 779 texts. Most on 2 days, and of those 687 were to him. That's over 300 per day for those days. Yes, I think her morals are very different than mine. Unfortunately, neither he nor his wife are on FB. I can pay for a background search on him, but really, I think I had better save my money for what comes next. Just had an angry message. Basically, she said she was going to have her friend help her put together an email to the other man tonight to get it to stop. But since my text to her, she is thinking she can't live like this with me either. Can't tell him to quit texting without telling you to leave, because I want to make sure I am doing this because it's best for me, asking if I want to separate for a while. The separate text want to separate for a while. Well, here it is, folks, so here is my plan. I will be constructing an email tonight to other man telling him I have feelings for him and that I have to quit texting him so I can get my head together. And I am going to separate from you for the same reason. Aren't you glad you forced my hand? Then yep, that's my decision, and it is my decision to separate from you in answer to the open marriage comments suggested by you all. The kids are my greatest worry at this point. She has made her bed. Now what though? I don't expect to hear from her for a few days. She might not be there by the time I get home. This damn heartache is killing me. She was the single most important thing in my life. But I will be strong. I will not contact her. She went to high school with this guy like 30 years ago. They knew each other but did not date. I went with her to a HS reunion thing last June, and that is where they hooked up, I guess. Phone records seem to verify nothing before June. She has admitted to June, but honestly, if she told me the sky was blue, I would be sure it was anything but blue at this point. This is not the same guy, the first other man she met in an online class doing her BA degree. Dirty texting, but it hurt like hell when I found out. She ended it immediately and swore it would never happen again. How did I find out? On both occasions I accidentally saw the email stuff. The first time it was emails to the other man. Very explicit. She had left her laptop open and running on her email. Did I snoop? Yes, a little. This time in much the same manner she left FB open with messages with a GF. The one who is staying with her tonight, but whatever. I went to move the computer off the footstool so I could watch a little TV, and voila. There were the conversations between the GF and her regarding the current other man. I will remain strong as long as I know this will be the most honest and open thing I can do with her. The man up, nice guy thing I read a few days ago. Pretty painful because I am the nice guy, though in reality I am not. I have blown our marriage over the years, never really fulfilling her needs, wants. I always put me and my career first. My bad. I have said I am sorry too many times now to her. She can't hear it anyway. I was not a very nice guy for the past 9 years. I admit that freely. She has in fact most recently accused me of having an affair with the business. Justification I know and meant to hurt me, and it does. Except she cannot see that I am a changed man now. Have been for some months, ironically since June when hers started, though not for that reason. The fact is I do have a lot of options. I can go just about anywhere given the work I do. although I really hate what I do. The main thing is my kids, and if this thing ends in a D, and I hope to God it does not. I want my kids. I am not sending them into another situation like this with her, especially my 9-year-old. He has special needs and I am the only one who can really care for him. Anyway, there it is for you. First good night's sleep I have had in weeks. Remembering the 180 will be tough. I really need to just keep going over it and over it. I have been beta but not anymore. I am codependent and that will be harder to break. It's funny because right after my discovery we were talking. Somewhere in the conversation I was telling her she could do whatever she needed to figure herself out. This was before I found this site and was schooled about how I was going about this all wrong. At one point she goes, "You really are a doormat." Do you know that is the only part of the conversation I actually remember? Because it is so true. I have laid down for her throughout our entire marriage because I felt that this was the best way to please her and fill her needs. What a moron I am. Of course, I've been thinking all day while trying to work. I do think we can turn this corner, but she must follow the rules and I must obey 180. If she won't give up the A, then obviously the whole deal is done, because to me it shows that she will never have any respect for me or for herself. And I have thought a lot about her today, her past and the patterns she follows. She did the same thing in her first marriage, but he never caught on. And she left him because he was too much of a doormat. Plan A, continue riding this wave out. I want to see what she does with my newfound self. I am certain she wants to separate, but I think it has to be clear that even if we do separate, the A has to end if we have any chance at all. Of course, I will have no way of verifying if she does move out. But if separation works, fine. We can see counselors separately as well during that time. Yep, I need one for sure. Plan B, if she does not end it, then we start seeing our lawyers. That will be complicated as she owns 50% of the business and we have investments together. What sucks is both A and B are going to hurt our kids. Also know that either way I will be contacting the OMW as soon as I figure out how. At the very least, then all 4 of us will be part of their affair. I am also focusing on how I will react. I have decided that I can no longer cry for the past. It's done. I will try to make today the best it can be. I will not cry for the future because it has not happened. I will not yell. I may be angry, but I will talk, minimally. And listen. I will be calm. I will be peaceful. This is the Buddhist way and I am a novice Buddhist. Took that up last winter as a way of coping with the stress in my life. If I get back from work early enough today, I will try the landline, but I am scared as hell. Not that he will answer, but that she will. Have been going over what to say to her, how to gently break it to her. Hi, you don't know me, but we have something very important in common, namely your husband and my wife. Also, I will send my wife an email today explaining my terms. Again, no sleep again last night. My issue now is that if I found out about 2 is with her, how many don't I know about in our marriage? I can now see that she has lied to me since before we were married. Of course, I told lies too, and lies are lies. My lies were in a category a little less threatening to the marriage. Yes, I quit smoking. Did it because she really had, and I did not want to tempt her by smoking around her. Stupid. Yes, I admit I am not the brightest bulb. Running over in my head if I can ever trust in her at all. Ever again, and if this means I can't be married to her anymore. Of course, that kind of thinking is cart before the horse stuff, because if she won't end the I won't be married to her much longer anyway. And on another note, I go home tomorrow. I know she will want to talk. I understand the rules of a hard 180. What about physical contact? I'm okay with hugs, but really nothing more. Is that right or wrong? Okay, she responded to my email from this morning. I reproduce it in full here. Please read this and then see my questions. Okay, all I can tell you in response to this email is that I have emailed him and told him I can no longer be in communication with him. But I didn't do it to save our marriage. I did it for me because I need some space. Which means that I need space from you as well. This has nothing to do with me and infidelity. It has to do with me and what I am feeling about myself and about my life. I know you don't understand that, but I am being honest with you. And right now, this is as honest as I can get. I have a billion questions and stuff going on in my head right now, dealing with life, love, and my own concepts of what those mean to me. In this area, you cannot help me figure those out. I have to do it on my own. X could have been anyone. And just because I had feelings for him doesn't mean that it was love, which is another question I have. Maybe it was infatuation or the idea of love or whatever, but it doesn't matter. All I know is, I cannot figure this out with you giving me these ultimatums. I need to have space. I have made an appointment with a counselor for me on November 8th. I hope that I don't hear any nastier words and name-calling from you, because frankly, it is only backing me into a corner. And when an animal is cornered, they fight, and that is how I am feeling right now. If you need to leave me because I am a cheater, then please feel free to do so. I cannot and will not respond and come running to you through threats, ultimatums, or name-calling. You are pushing me farther away, so not sure where this leaves you. But it leaves me to say, again, that I need space from you and time. Kind of like I am so close to the situation that I cannot see the forest for the trees. Sort of like trying to get you to go on a trip to get away from the business for a while, to give you a better view of the whole thing and not just the smallest part. At this point in time, if you still feel there is no reason to begin talking, then I understand. Just know that I am not ready to work on anything right now, except myself. It is what I have been saying all along, but again, I am not sure you are really hearing me. I am planning on a reply to her email tomorrow morning. I think I simply need to ask, nicely, if she will share the email to the other man with me. Which I am sure she won't, and that I agree that she needs space. In order for her to do that, I will suggest that she move out and that I will contact a lawyer about legal separation. I have sent her sister and mother messages on FB to please call me about something important, but have no idea how long that will take as they don't do FB very much. I'm a wreck. Her mom says that she spoke with her a couple of days ago after not hearing from her in several weeks. Told mom things were bad between us, but that she does not want to. Also told mom that she has appointment to see counselor. Did not tell her about the emotional affair. Not surprising about that. I told her mom that I own 50% of the marriage problems and that I will seek a counselor also. Mom says I should make an appointment for MC as well. Not even tell my wife about it and then just say we are going to this appointment. Mom thinks wife would be impressed. I told mom that I was willing to do that, but that I had to see the NC letter first and that it needed to be in the email sent box. She said she understood that for sure. I suspect that when I got off the phone, mom called wife immediately. Wife's sister also called me, but discussion was brief as I was picking kids up from school. Same story. Sister was pretty shocked. I said we could talk more about it later. Don't think sister has called my wife yet. I have also notified several of our mutual friends that we are likely separating. Next is the lawyer and also the business lawyer. Will be a busy few day. Wife has still not returned from town. I have not texted her. 180 says to basically act like you don't care. So that is what I am doing. I was pleasant and cheerful with the kids even while she was here. Cooked them dinner, which is what I usually do. That is when she took off. Maybe the message is getting through. Call the lawyer and meet later this morning. Call the counselor for a meeting, not till the 10th though. Contacted the business lawyer to let them know what is going on and see what can be done. Now, do I take mother-in-law's advice and set up with an MC and just tell my wife we are going? Still no access to phone, email, etc., and have no clue if the NC email she claims she wrote is real. Really do not want to go to the MC until that wedge is cleared, but maybe it would be recommended by the MC. She might listen. Days later, had a long talk with the wife today. Her has definitely ended and we were on the edge of starting to rebuild. Discussion of the year with friends and family came up and I told her I had been in contact about it with her mom, sister and my family as well as certain friends. She blew up. I mean really blew up like I have never seen her do. Threw things at me. Said I had betrayed her worse than anything she had done to me. That she would never forgive me and that we were done. She left. I guess we are over. Here is the update. She returned like 15 minutes later and laid into me. You know, finger in the face stuff. But then it mellowed down and we began to talk about it. Did I cave and fall off the 180 bus? A little bit, yes. Here is the thing. She is so confused right now that she really has no idea what to do. She has feelings for the guy but wrote to him, exposed the feelings and said she needed to end the affair for her because she needs to get her crap together. What she got back, and this is all according to her, remember. But I can tell when my wife is being sincere. Was that he was not leaving his marriage. He had no feelings for her, so yêus. She was humiliated by her own lover. She does not feel remorse for this and indeed told me she wished it could have gone physical affair just once because she would have known if her feelings were real, lust, or if she could have even gone through with it. Okay, that hurts, but you know what, I can understand what she is saying. She was not getting what she needed in our marriage, and I am happy to talk about that more because it will clarify why the affair started in the first place. How did I cave? Well, let me be clear about something first. By contacting these folks, I was following advice from here and articles I have been reading. It did not feel right to do it, but since I have been doing all the wrong things, I thought contacting them was one of the right things. So, what I did was this. I offered to call her family and say I was wrong. That it was not an I did this, but worded it so carefully that both mom and sister were able to read between my lines. They understood clearly that I said I would call about it and tell them I was wrong. It was not an but something else. Both of them said okay, got you. Not an but we all know it was. Okay, not rock solid, but it was a compromise. Wife's point, and one well taken, was that if I had waited just one more day to call them, I would have known that the had ended and would not have had to call them as part of an intervention. Fair enough. Would now. Ground rules. We have to stay in the same house for financial reasons, but we will live separate lives. Not unlike we have been doing for a long time. While she decides if R is even possible. No bonding, her choice. We keep up appearances for the kids, especially the youngest. We go out when we want, but no dating or hooking up. I told her I want R and will work hard for it, but understand that the chances are paper thin. The main thing we each need is time, which is hard for me because I want this pain to stop, to figure things out. I think she is still planning on seeing the counselor. I will also keep my appointment. She does not want MC right now. I did ask her what happens if other man writes and expresses his undying love or wants to start the again. She said he wouldn't, and even if writes, she will not answer. She wants time to think for herself with no men in her life. I truly believe that. So, we will see where this goes. Am I weak and a doormat for all this? Maybe, but I know my wife, and if I put too much pressure on, she will end the M, since that is the last thing I will have to be a bit giving where I feel it is necessary. After all, that is what M is about. Will it crush me again when she says she can't stay married? Probably, but at least, I know that I gave it one last shot. Bottom line here is that time is what we need. I agree with her that we both have issues to figure out on our own before we can even think about us. The deal here is that I will continue on. There are complexities here that cannot be rushed. It gives us both time to get past the affair. It gives me time to figure out what to do with a failing business and a career that is in the toilet as well. Sometimes it is better to go beta in some things. I have to follow my own gut instincts, know when to be 180 and when that will only make matters worse. I cannot force my wife to do anything she is not ready to do, nor can I force her to love me. I understand these things. I have lived with her for 18 years. She has to come to her own conclusions, and she always takes time to analyze. Forcing things to be done immediately is really only making matters worse. Time and only time will tell where we go from here. She is not a one-dimensional character. She is also very kind. She is fun, she is intelligent, and she is a good mother. Yes, she has a temper, but usually her anger is justified. Yes, she cheated, twice. Yes, it was a poor decision on her part. In reality, though, this latest may have been good for her. I believe it scared the hell out of her because she developed feelings that she did not expect. She had no control over it. She believed that there was one true love for each person until this, because she was falling in love with this guy, or thought she was. She has been disillusioned and needs time to figure it out. Maybe, if the cards are played right, she will realize that even though things were far from great with us, that I am really the one man who can understand her. That I am solid, that I am a good father, because I am. For my part, I intend to make huge changes in my behavior. Not for her, but for me. I do not like the guy I was for the past 14 years, trying to figure out if it was a midlife crisis for me, or if it is some core behavior that needs more work. And in reality, she needs to do the same thing. She is not sure if this midlife crisis for her either. In the end, of course, after we change our behavior, we still may not like the other person. That is fine, and again, I have lost nothing in becoming a better person. She has to own it 100%, and I have laid that law down. But I really don't think she wants D. She was told that to her mother. I am actually sitting in a good place, believe it or not. Yep, it's painful, no doubt about that. We will see where it goes from here. I am not going to give up on this marriage until she is clear whether she wants to work on it or not. If she decides it's over, she is the failure, not me. If she decides to work on it and it still falls apart, then we tried. Neither of us know where our heads are at right now. Maybe, a few weeks or months from now, I will decide it's not worth it and file. But I am not doing any of that right now. I am going to wait and see, because my marriage is worth it to me. I can afford to give it time. So, I have let it go in the sense that it will be what it is. I also understand that we don't know what it is, and until we do, no knee-jerk reactions are going to help. Yep, more than anything else in the world, I want this to work out, but I understand that in all likelihood it won't. Right now, she and I both need to sort through things and see where we are as people and as a couple. I am going to let this be for a while. I do not have to resolve this today. I do think I am in a fog, and I also need time to clear my head. Believe me, I am pissed. But I also realized that there were many things I did that put her in a position where she felt she needed to have the "I know it was not my fault that she did it." That was her choice. But it takes two to tango, folks. She is wanting R, but she has to make the decision to invest in the marriage. I told her that. I also told her I am not waiting forever for her to decide what she wants. This is really not about the affair. This is about where our marriage is and is not. It had to be gotten out of the way before we could address that issue. The is over, and I am taking steps to make sure it stays over so that she has time to start thinking clearly about whether our marriage is worth reinventing. I already know that it is, but the fact is I won't wait around forever. I have accepted the very likely possibility that it is over, and I will have to let her go. She is not the only major issue in my life right now. I am also trying to save a dying business and resurrect a 25-year career, with the likelihood that I won't be able to do that either, and will end up with no family and looking for a job outside my field at 49 years old. Not a pleasant thought by any stretch of the imagination. So yes, I am going to work to keep what I have until it is absolutely clear to me that it is not possible. That does not make me weak. It in fact goes to a strong character, and one that will not simply give up the ship because there is a major leak and it is sinking. It makes me a stronger person than my wife. I was not the weak one who sought comfort and distraction from a bad marriage by finding someone else. So, no more of this business of being weak, and this will end in disaster. The disaster has already happened and has been building for many years. There is a chance, slim but a chance, to set it right again, and I am going to do that. I have accepted the fact that it probably won't work. By the time she decides that R is what she wants, I may tell her to go duck herself. The thing I do not want to do right now is make any more stupid decisions. Things are in limbo right now. Not because of the affair, but because she has to decide whether this can be worked on. This limbo will allow me some time to heal a bit and figure out what I want to do too. I simply am not going to move forward with anything right now. If that is wrong, well, it is wrong. It won't be the first mistake I have made that ended up coming back on me, and it surely won't be the last. Comments. You believe OP will stay attached?